So I've been investigating the NEET issue for a while now. Hear me out, let me show you something. Let's call this the NEET files. There are three parts to the story. The first one is the Coaching Mafia. And the Coaching Mafia profits from you paying exorbitant fees for NEET coaching. Then come the private institutions. The private institutions profit from you failing at the NEET. If you don't succeed at the NEET, the only way you get medical admission is by paying exorbitant capitation fees and donation fees to these institutions. And then there are the politicians. Now, many Dravidian politicians claim that they're against the NEET and that they're fighting for you. But is that really true? Do they really want you to succeed? This might just be the biggest conspiracy in Tamil Nadu educational politics. Alright, let's paint a picture of what everyone thinks is happening. The central government is pushing the NEET on these students that have no chance of clearing it in spite of being brilliant. And the state government, as they should, is standing up for the voters and fighting the center on this. This is where the story takes a shocking turn. The politicians you think are fighting for you might not really want a solution. They just have too many benefits in keeping this issue as it is and not really having a solution. To really understand the story, let's look at what these politicians are doing. And then let's follow the money to understand what benefits these politicians get out of it. DMK and AIDMK have been fighting against the NEET for years. Yes, I know recently the AIDMK shifted sides, and once they formed the BJP alliance, they've actually been for the NEET, but this is well before that. Now, the same parties that have been calling the NEET discriminatory against rural students have also been opposing these Navodaya Vidyala since 1986. In fact, Tamil Nadu is the only state in India that doesn't have a single Navodaya Vidyala. And the reason? They claim these schools impose Hindi. The purpose of Navodaya Vidyalayas is to find smart students in rural communities that don't have access to good education and then provide them with the same elite education. The government spends 2 crore rupees a year on these schools. P. Ravi, a Navodaya Vidyalaya principal, actually claims Hindi is only optional in class 10 and it doesn't really affect the results. In Hindi-speaking states, students learn other official languages of India as an additional subject. The union government, through this scheme, is spending crores to help rural students compete with the urban elite. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The NEET opposition is not about the students. It's about political relevance. Every suicide becomes a rally cry. Every failed student becomes a voter. In reality, all they want is a strong, long-term vote bank. In 2021, when the DMK came to power, they promised they would abolish the NEET. In fact, Udayanithi Stalin went ahead and said he knew the secret sauce to abolishing NEET. However, 4 years later, it's the same speeches, the same drama, but no change. And here's where it gets really ugly. The AIADMK, which has been against the NEET for years, has suddenly shifted sides after they rejoined the BJP alliance and are now for the NEET. When the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin called for an all-party meeting to discuss the NEET, guess who opposed it? The AIADMK. They call this all a big drama to manage public anger. But here's the hypocrisy. The AIADMK in its own manifesto had said they would urge the central government to find alternatives for NEET. Yet when push came to shove, alliance politics trumped student welfare. So now that we've understood the hypocrisy of the politicians, let's follow the money. A Swarajya magazine investigation revealed that many deemed universities are actually owned by the same politicians or their benefactors. Let's take an example. The Christian Medical College in Vellore, it's supposed to give 50% of its seats to the government. However, in the last 15 years, that has not yet happened. And the AIADMK and the DMK do not raise a voice against this issue. The last thing that they would want to do is speak against the medical institutions. And you know why? If you don't clear the NEET, you have to pay huge capitation fees and donation fees to private medical institutions. And this money goes directly into the pocket of politicians. And then comes the biggest angle of the story, the Coaching Mafia. The state government set up a committee under retired Justice A.K. Rajan to investigate the NEET. And what they found is that the Coaching Mafia makes 5,750 crores from NEET coaching. But there's something they did not investigate. Who really owns the coaching mafias? The coaching mafias, again, are owned by politicians and their benefactors. And the longer the NEET issue continues, the longer this industry thrives. Abolishing NEET would be abolishing this gold mine. It's just the perfect racket, and they've got clear steps to do this. Step 1, create the problem. Bring in NEET, stand against it, create an issue out of it, create a problem. Step 2, talk as if you're the solution. These politicians say they are the solution, they're going to fight NEET and abolish it. Step 3, profit from the suffering. And who pays for all this? It's the students, with money, with their mental health, and sometimes with their lives. The drama never ends. The Tamil Nadu government has filed multiple cases against the NEET in the Supreme Court. But if you speak to legal experts, they'll say these cases have no basis and they're probably just designed to create a scene like they're fighting for you. In fact, the Tamil Nadu states passed anti-NEET bills in 2021 and 2022, and both of these were rejected by the President of India. The DMK government knew that these bills would never receive a cent. It's just constitutionally not possible for states to unilaterally reject laws from the central government. Let's look at the human aspect of the story. Imagine a girl Gomati who comes from a Tamil medium school. Now this is an absolutely brilliant student who tops her 12th standard exams. But when it comes to the NEET, she fails at it. And you know what's heartbreaking? Before the NEET came in 2017, students like Gomati had a real chance. Back then, government school students made up 14% of medical admissions. But now it's just 1.7%. And Tamil medium students, it fell from 20% to 1.6%. This is not about ability, it's about systematic exclusion of these students from the system. And honestly, Gomati was among the lucky ones. A lot of students lost their lives because of the NEET. Yes, we're talking about the NEET suicides. We aren't going to look at individual cases because I want to respect the privacy of their families. But a study came out from the National Center of Biotechnology, and it showed that of the 32 NEET-related suicides, 15 of them, that's about half of them, were from Tamil Nadu. And these aren't bad students, they're toppers. The dreams were crushed by a system that wants them to fail. So what could solve the NEET crisis? Ironically, the solutions are right there if the politicians only wanted to see them. First, allow Navodaya Vidyalayas. Give the best students the opportunity to compete against the urban elite. Second, strengthen government schools with high quality teachers and science labs so these students can actually be prepared for national competition. Kerala did this successfully, so why not us? Third, create free coaching classes. States like Haryana and Odisha have done this, but this will reduce dependence on private coaching, and that's going to hurt the pockets of these politicians. And the NEET scandal is not only hurting Indian students, it's hurting India's international reputation. It's exposing how Indian politicians are using education as a political tool instead of a fundamental right. And developed countries, they don't use a single exam to determine student quality. They use a more holistic approach because they genuinely want the best doctors. But India, we're stuck in the same racket of exams, coaching centers, and money-making scams. Change is possible. It requires citizens to see beyond the political theater and ask for real change. Ask your MLAs, why do you oppose Navodaya Vidyalayas? Ask your MPs, why haven't you pushed for transparent coaching regulation? Ask your parties, what's the timeline for actual solutions, not just promises? The story of NEET in Tamil Nadu is not about an exam. It's about how politics can trump student welfare. It's about how vote bank politics can penetrate the very fabric of our society and deny our children their future. Tamil Nadu deserves doctors who heal, not politicians who use their pain for power. If you like the story, definitely give this video a like and share it with your friends. If you want to see more stories like this on socio-political issues, consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you.